Ladies and gentlemen, it's 3 o'clock. I will call to order this October 4, 2022 meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority. Will all persons who are able to please rise and recite with me the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. For your information, Mr. Lumpkin has had a medical issue that prevented his attendance at today's meeting. And at the request of our Vice President, Ms. Howard, I will preside over today's meeting as chair. Will the Secretary please call the roll of board members?
Yes, sir. Mr. Williamson.
Present.
Mr. Lumpkin. Ms. Howard.
Present.
Mr. Bullingham.
Present.
Ms. Hairston.
Present.
Ms. Hurd.
Present.
Ms. Matthews-Stinson.
Present.
And Mr. Wackerser.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The roll having been called, the chair declares that a quorum is present. The bylaws of the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority require that prior to a meeting of the Board of Trustees, the board approves the agenda for the meeting. Prior to today's meeting, a copy of today's meeting agenda was provided to all board members for review. Does the executive director or any board member have any requested changes or corrections to today's meeting agenda or object to its approval? Hearing none, the chair will declare the agenda approved as presented. Also prior to today's meeting, the minutes of the September 6, 2022 board meeting were provided to all board members for review. Does any board member request a reading of the minutes, have any changes or corrections to the minutes, or object to approval of the minutes? Hearing none, the chair will declare that the minutes of the September 6, 2022 board meeting are approved as presented. That takes us on to committee reports. And first up is the Finance Personnel Committee. Ms. Matthews-Stinson.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees held a meeting on September 20th, and as a result, the Finance Personnel Committee is recommending 4 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 2, food and beverage vending services. The Greater Dayton RTA provides vending services to employees in dining areas as well as the public in our transit center passenger waiting areas. This procurement generates revenue for RTA that helps to fund the Employee Benefit Fund. Providing vending services to employees and customers is consistent with RTA's core values of quality service and our people. The successful contractor will provide all food and beverage vending services, microwaves, utensils, plates, and all condiments using new or refurbished machines with encasements where necessary. All licenses, fees, and permits are at the vendor's expense. Ms. Deborah Howard presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based on the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees award a contract to AVI Food Systems, Inc. for a 3-year period with a guaranteed annual commission rate of 24.7% from all RTA locations to be paid quarterly and a $3,000 promotional fund annually.
Second.
Motion has been properly made by Ms. Matthews-Stinson and seconded by Ms. Hurd. Is there any further discussion by the board? Hearing none, I'll ask that all members in favor of the motion please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries, and the action item number 2 is passed.
Thank you very much. Action item number 3, copier equipment and maintenance. The purpose of this procurement is to replace all copier equipment owned by Greater Dayton RTA with updated machines of the same model and to provide a 5-year maintenance agreement. A total of 20 copiers will be purchased. This project is consistent with RTA's core value of quality service. By upgrading and maintaining our technology-based equipment, RTA can continuously improve and expand the service capabilities to our internal and external customers. Ms. Deborah Howard presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees award a contract to Donnellon McCarthy Enterprises for the purchase of copier equipment for $144,998 and a 5-year maintenance agreement for $82,918 for a grand total of $227,916. This procurement will be funded with capital funds.
Okay, motion properly made by Ms. Matthews Stenson, seconded by Mr. Weckesser. Is there any further discussion from any board member? Hearing none, I will ask all board members in favor of the motion to please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Action item number 3 is approved.
Thank you very much. Action item number 4, on-site technical support for next-gen trolleys. The purpose of this procurement is for Greater Dayton RTA to obtain the services of the next-gen trolley manufacturer, Keep Electric, to provide on-site technical support for the next-gen trolley fleet. These services will allow RTA staff to continue to increase their technical capacity and troubleshooting skills for the long-term maintenance and repair of the next-gen trolley fleet. This project is consistent with RTA's core values of stewardship and quality services as the next-gen fleet is managed. These services will be supplied over a 2-year term. Mr. Darren Brown presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance and Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees award a contract to Keep Electric for on-site technical support for a 2-year period in the estimated amount of $466,960. This procurement will be funded with operating funds.
Second.
Okay, motion properly made by Ms. Matthews Stenson and seconded by Ms. Howard. Is there any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, I will ask all board members in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Action item number 4 is approved.
Thank you very much. Action item number 5, group medical and prescription insurance. This procurement is for group medical and prescription drug coverage for administrative employees of the Greater Dayton RTA. RTA provides health coverage in accordance with its labor agreement with AFSCME and the Administrative Employee Benefit Plan, keeping the cost of health care manageable for both RTA and employees supports RTA's core value of stewardship. Dr. Brenda Thomas presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees award a contract to Medical Mutual of Ohio for the fully insured medical and prescription insurance in the total estimated amount of $1,852,530 for 1 year based on the current census. In addition, to incentivize the HDHP option, the Chief Executive Officer is authorized to fund a $75 per pay period, $1,950 annually contribution to HDHP participants' health savings account. This procurement will be funded with operating funds.
Second.
Motion properly made by Ms. Matthews Stenson, seconded by Ms. Hairston. Is there any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, I'll ask all board members who approve of said motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Action item number 5 is approved.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of other items to mention. The August 2022 financial statements and the small purchases information has been included in today's board package. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Matthews Stenson. That brings us to the Planning Committee. Ms. Sharon Howard.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on September 20th. And while we do not have any action items to bring before you, we do have important updates to provide. At the committee meeting, Brandon Polachicchio provided a summary document of recent activities in the Customer and Business Development Department, which was provided. The update included information on RTA's ridership, which showed that August 2022 was the highest since March 2020, and that weekend ridership was up 58% since May, with Sunday ridership up 70%. Mr. Polachicchio also shared that the RTA continues to struggle with growing its driver workforce, despite its ongoing recruitment efforts. RTA needs 275 CDL drivers to operate at its pre-COVID service levels. Today, RTA hovers around 200 actual CDL drivers while continuing to lose ground. Due to ongoing workforce challenges, he shared that RTA will be making service changes beginning Sunday, October 16th. Mr. Polachicchio stated that Route 14 will no longer run north of Right Stop Plaza. Customers who currently use Route 14 north from downtown along Salem Avenue can now take Route 8. The remaining section of Route 14 will be served by RTA's Connect On-Demand service, which is available for customers to use today. He shared that RTA staff is currently traveling on the Route 14 line within the area to provide information and assist customers in transferring to on-demand. He concluded his update by stating that once RTA is able to see some sustained growth in driver employment, they will evaluate its current service and these changes and look at ways to grow services in line with economic development in these areas. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. That brings us next to the Chief Executive Officer's report. Mr. Rosinski.
Yes, thank you, Dave. In the fall of 2021, we may recall we were forced to make some challenging decisions to deal with the lack of CDL drivers. We cut Route 3, which served East Dayton, Route 5, which ran from Oakwood to Children's Medical Center, Route 23, which ran from East Dayton to the Dayton Mall through Kettering and Centerville, Route 24, which ran from the Dayton Mall to Good Sam North, mostly through the western part of the county, X5, which ran from downtown Dayton to the South Hub, X1A and X1B, which served the base, and the senior easy rides. These were challenging decisions. At the same time, we were looking at making these cuts we're making now to Route 14, we determined at that time that we felt we had enough drivers where we could spare this cut. That is no longer the case. So that is why we are making this adjustment to Route 14. I'd like to report to the board that yesterday I had a very cordial and productive meeting with Mr. Quincy Pope. Adrian and I met with him, the assistant city manager, as well as the leader of the NAACP, to talk about, while they understood the driver shortage situation, they wanted to share their exciting growth and service opportunities for the future along the Main Street corridor in Trotwood. So we did pledge to do everything we could to look at what those are and how we might best serve those with a smaller number of drivers. It may be a circulator service, it may be a shorter fixed route just from the hub, it may be where community groups step up and use the 5310 buses we are able to give out to help support services. But we did make the commitment that as those establishments begin to open, we would look at additional service options for the area. That is all I have to report, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate your clarifying that for the folks that you met with, as well as for the board, that again, due to this ongoing driver shortage that we have, these service adjustments hopefully are temporary, and we can get back to full service, pre-pandemic service levels at some point in the future. All right. Is there any old business? Next up is new business. We do have an item of new business, and that is new business item number 1, which you should see on your agenda. And that is a resolution authorizing staff to seek federal infrastructure investment and Jobs Act flexible funding to support transit projects. The Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority has been notified by the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission regarding the solicitation of new transportation projects under the category of congestion mitigation air quality. Once submitted, applications for the proposed new projects are to be reviewed and evaluated for possible inclusion in the State Transportation Improvement Program. In reviewing the region's transportation needs, staff has developed the attached project that is eligible for flexible funding, and the proposal has been scrutinized in the context of MVRPC practices and policies. Competition for these funds is expected to be substantial. Applications are due October 6th, and that's why the business on today's agenda, and require the board's approval of the attached resolution, which is included in today's materials. I hereby move that the board approves resolution number 2022-10-1, authorizing the submittal of all necessary documents and the fulfillment of all other requirements in order to obtain additional funding for projects approved by the MVRPC.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion has been properly made by the chair, seconded by Ms. Hurd. Is there any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, I'll ask all board members who approve of said motion to please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries, and new business item number 1 is approved, and I will execute the resolution after the meeting and give it to the executive director. All right. That brings us to public comment. And we have quite a number of folks who have signed up for public comment. And we're going to go through the list in the order in which people signed up. So there's no alphabetical order or rhyme or reason, just the way that people came today and signed up. I will. Thank you. Anyone wishing to address the board must speak on their own behalf. After you are recognized to speak by me, you must come to the lectern, or if you are physically unable to do so, a handheld microphone will be brought to you. You must first state your name and your address, and after doing so, at that point, you will have 3 minutes to make your comments. When 30 seconds remain, a yellow light will come on, and the secretary will say 30 seconds. When 3 minutes are up, a red light will come on, and the secretary will say stop. At that time, you must cease speaking and leave the lectern or surrender the microphone. All right, our first speaker is Tracy Browning.
I wanted to be last. Tracy Browning, 5222 Dayton Drive. I'm a driver. I drive around 14, and I'm for my customers. If we didn't have customers, we wouldn't have our jobs. They need their jobs to go to work. And I don't understand why they're doing. We have more people on the north side than the south side. So why are they counseling the south, the north side? I don't understand that. Anybody? I don't understand. Why are they doing that? They don't have an answer for that? No.
These are, for everybody in the room, this is public comment. This is regulated by law, and this is the kind of a thing where you make the comments, we listen to them, and then the next person gets up and speaks. It's not an interchange or a back and forth conversation. So I'm not going to hold this several 10, 20 seconds against your time, but you may go ahead and proceed.
I was just saying that I just don't think it's fair that the north side, we have plenty more people that go to work and come home from that way. I can count on one hand that I pick up on Centerville side. And I just don't think it's right, and I don't see how everybody, people they need their jobs, they need to go to work, pay their bills and everything, and this is gonna cut them all the way off. People are gonna lose their jobs. And I don't think it's right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Brenda Coleman.
I'm Brenda Coleman. I stay at 434 Berman Avenue. I'm concerned about the 14 bus because I catch it. I stayed on Westbrook Road. Y'all took 34 from me. I lost my job, so I couldn't go to work because I didn't have no way. So now I work at Goodwill East still, so I have to catch 14 buses to work. So now y'all taking that from me, so then I can't get to work. So what am I supposed to do? Y'all let me go to Centerville, but y'all ain't gonna let me go to Trotwood. I don't understand that.
The next speaker is Candace Woods. Ms. Woods?
Test. My name is Candace Woods, and I live at 6215 North Main Street, Apartment 106. I wanted to make a comment about Project Mobility. I've been on mobility since 2014. Yesterday, I had an incident where I had a pickup at 1:30 from Walmart on Hook Road. Okay? I'm standing there in pain, waiting on my driver. My driver didn't show up until after 2 o'clock. When I got a call from the ride line, it said estimated time of arrival at 1:58. That's not fair. That's not right. I didn't get home until almost 15 minutes till 3. It needs to change. And I got this directed to you, Mr. Rosinski. since December 30th of last year. When have you went to go see Bobby Brown in the hospital? He's been in the hospital for 9 months. And only one driver has went to go see him. Nobody else has went to go see that man. Y'all need to just turn around and get up and go see that man and turn around and bring him up. Because right now, he's not doing it.
Thank you, Ms.
Mr.
Williams.
Chair, can I get a clarification on the last name of that driver?
Brown.
Bobby Brown. I'm the mother of 4 of his children. And it's hard for us to go see him because we're not used to him being in the hospital bed for 9 months. And only one driver has went to go see that man, that's Brett Hill. Nobody else. If y'all need the address to where he's at, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. All right, our next speaker is Mary Miller.
Test. My name is Mary Millen. I live at 229 Colgate Avenue, Dayton, 45417. I really would wish that I could remember all this, so I made notes. To the board, why have you not began a search for a qualified leader? Because we all know when Mr. Rosinski began, he began with the police assisting him to do his job. They had to send for the police to bring the buses back out on October the 3rd because he had sent them home early without contacting the public and making them known that this was going to happen. Why has Bob and Brandon Palachico not been required to maintain a current CDL in the face of the driver shortage? Why not bring back the senior Easy Rider with a fare increase to $250, providing one dedicated bus driver per day? This would free up more ride space. Been submitted as fractional count of drivers for the Easy Rider system. Mr. Andy Reynolds didn't do it properly, and at the time, Mr. Donahue went back and corrected that problem. But unknowns to him, the number count was still used. And that's why you claim there is no significant ridership on a 36 complex system that carries those citizens to and from the same areas that they use every week. And it only takes one driver. You have the blue, what is it, 55? 55 for UD. It has 4 buses. Those students don't come downtown. They rarely ride those buses. Most of them are empty each time you see them. It is 3 dedicated drivers that would be serving UD instead of 4 if you brought back the Easy Rider. I know the money is not as great as you would like it, but $5 for a dedicated pickup
30 seconds.
that does not carry any time constraint is not fair. And last, if anybody has a problem with RTA, it is the morale problem that is created by the leadership in command. That's why you can't get drivers. They won't come, and if they do, they don't stay because they experience bad leadership. Put out a call for new substantial leadership. And Mr. Rosinski, I advise you, get a CDL. It won't kill you.
Time.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Our next speaker is Sandra Smothers.
My name is Sandra Mae Smothers. I live at 215 McDaniel Street, Department 207. And I'm here to speak about the Senior Easy Rider. Mr. Rosinski, first of all, that's a bus you shouldn't have never had took from us. You were wrong in the first place. That bus should have been still running to take care of these seniors, to get them from point A to point B. But you didn't care about us. All you cared about is the money, what you making. But that ain't gonna work. What goes around comes around. Remember that, because you're gonna get old yourself one day. So what you need to do is pack your bags and get out the seat. Because it's time for you to go. That's why y'all can't get no drivers. Nobody wants to stay here. I made a recommendation to you, Mr. Williams. Told you who to get. Dwayne Pelfrey out of Fairfax County that started from the bottom at RTA and worked his way to the top. But y'all didn't do a search. That was your problem. There it is. And you're not gonna get no drivers until you release your person that's in command now. You're not gonna get them. Nobody wants to drive. I've asked people, RTA's hired. You know what they say? Hell no. So I'm letting you know, I'm here to let you know today. You need to put that senior easy rider back in circulation. Dwayne Pelfrey had over 220 project mobility drivers. It's a mess out there. This place is going down to the hole, which is almost there now. So I want you to know that. I want you board members to know that. And this Trotwood business, Ms. Herb, you live in Trotwood, you should fight for your bus. Thank you.
Where's the mayor?
Yeah, where's the mayor?
Where's the mayor?
She get voted out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's keep quiet so that we can give full attention to our speakers. Okay? Thank you, Ms. Smothers.
You quite welcome.
Our next speaker is Paul Curtis.
My name is Paul Curtis, and I live at 3786 Nevada Avenue. I think this bus 14 shouldn't leave. If you take away the bus, you're cutting one of the drivers at the same time. That's what you're doing. You're cutting the driver at the same time. And they got families to see about. They got children or whatever. I got grandkids that I need to see about. They need that bus so that I can get them back and forth to either school or get them where they need to go to get food or anything. But the more you take away this bus, there's going to be more homeless people. Even senior citizens ride this bus. They need help to ride, so they can continue to ride this bus. Because I see them every day. I get out on this bus 7 days a week. And I watch this fool ride this bus. I see a lot of people on this bus 14. And we shouldn't be cutting out this bus. This bus will continue to run and continue to be on the move for us as the people in Trotwood. Y'all shouldn't be trying to just cut it from us or allow us to be in the situation that it is. The more you cut it, the more it's going to be hard for us to try to either get cars, and then we got to pay more out of our pockets to try to get anywhere. That's why the 24 should never left, the X5, or any other bus, or the 23, anything. We need to get it back. Keep this 14.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Our next speaker is Kevin Frazier.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, board members. I'm going to speak really fast because you only gave us 3 minutes. I was in trouble, you gave us a lot.
Name and address, Kevin.
Oh, 555 Recess Drive, Dayton, Ohio. I was at the Trotwood Board Meeting last night. They gave me a lot more than 3 minutes. I might need a lot more than 3 minutes. And I'm going to start with Sunday. I don't know where your numbers are coming from or where you get them from, but any driver in here that drives Route 14 on a Sunday, raise your hand if your route is busy. If your route is busy. If it's not busy, raise your hand. This Sunday crap, 29 buses was added to come out of our garages on Sunday, which now forces my members, your employees, to be forced to work 6 days a week after driving 11 hours and 10 hours a day. It's ridiculous. It's dangerous. 29 extra buses. Why? To justify this guy taking the holiday pick away. That's all it's about. We are taking numbers. Ridership is not up 70%. I don't know what y'all do during the weekend, but do what I do. Get out there. Just ride it. Don't get on the bus. Ride it down the street. Look at the buses. These buses are empty. I don't know where they're getting these numbers from. My members drive these buses. They're empty. Next thing. I run a union. I'm the president of a local. I'm here at your board meeting. Guess what? I had to reschedule mine because I can't get my staff off to participate in union business because the directors of this company can't direct anymore. They can't. I gotta go through a labor relations officer to have employees taken off 9 days in advance. I rejected 9 days in advance to have my staff off to participate in what you guys are sitting up here doing now. Why? Because of directive. Not because of any other issue except they saying we've been mandatory. Well, why are we being mandatory so much? How do you establish routes like this when you don't have the manpower or woman power to service it? Who does that? If I have a business and you did that, guess where you're going to be? On the unemployment line. Because this is ridiculous. I talked to y'all last month. Do a survey with this board, with these directors, please. There is something wrong. I got a department, the line crew, works in the lines, okay? Works in the lines. You know how many people are staffed in that department today? One of the most dangerous jobs in RTA. One of the most safety sensitive jobs in RTA. You know how many people he staffed in that department today? 2. Yet you got Capital Electric running around doing all kinds of work when we can't send enough members out, or mechanics out to work the lines. This is a straight up attack on this union. And guess what? We're not going anywhere. I'd rather sit here and be able to discuss. I can't talk to him. He, for whatever reason, I don't know. Won't accept my emails, won't accept my calls. Everything got to go to the labor relations officer. Where do I stop at? We just had a pick. We just had a pick. We just had a pick. Okay, we just had a pick that should have lasted 5 months. It's only lasted 2.5 months. You know why? Because can't get it right. Can't get it right. Something is wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. All right, now our next speaker is Anne Marie Johnson.
I'm Ann Johnson. I live at 9 Bell Meadows Drive, apartment B in Shotwood. And I work all the way out by the Dayton Mall. And I'm just kind of upset because y'all taking 14 to Shotwood away. And I don't want to lose my job.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mary, and I hope I'm reading the handwriting right, Wyatt.
My name is Mary Modis, 17 Elfrid Lane, Trotwood. Okay, we need the Route 14 levy for various businesses on Main Street. There's Dollar General, Family Dollar, there's Trotwood Food Market that gets built that I love. There's the post office, Shiloh Spring Nursing Home, that I know employees take it to and from work. There's the CVS drugstore, there's the library, and also don't forget the Rams, Trotwood High School and Lowe's. Okay, I take 14 daily to work, then I commute at 8:15 to take 16 to where I work at Inglewood. And then all the people that I know, various tenants at these apartments also take 14. Bell Meadows, Wingate Bell Meadows, Kensington Square, ML Gravios, the senior citizen apartment, Covington Manor, senior citizen apartment, Trotwood Villa, Pinewood, Broadmoor, all these families depend on 14. 14 is very much needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Penny Shackelford.
I was finished off before I live at 310 Madison, Trotwood, Ohio. I just recently came from Columbus, Ohio. I was born and raised here, but I just came back home. And it saddened me how the businesses all around us is shut down. It's not running. It's like Dayton is gone. It's very disappointing. I stay out in Trotwood. I catch bus 14 from Trotwood to Centerville. Once I get on the bus is filled up. But when we get closer to Centerville, it's no one on the bus but me. My suggestion is don't completely shut out bus 14. At least one bus come in the morning. At least one bus come in the evening. Just don't completely shut it off. My understanding with the connect demand, it doesn't run. When you call them, they make you late for work. They already on work. They already working, but we get to work late. So if y'all trying to put that in progress, make sure they be on time. Make sure that we can, connect with, the Man Connect very easily, and they be there. Because when y'all cut off bus 14, it's gonna be a lot of homeless people. There's already a lot of homeless people out here. We're gonna lose our jobs. We need to get to the doctor. The children need to get to school. After school special. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shackelford. Our next speaker is Cecile Howard.
Hi, I'm Cecile Howard. I live at 8 Bell Meadows Drive, apartment D, Trotwood, Ohio. I moved in Trotwood because I got hit by a tornado. So I got my apartment over in Trotwood. That's the only bus that rides through Trotwood to get me to downtown so I can catch my bus. I work by the Dayton Mall also. So I'm just saying, like, we really need that bus. There's standing room only sometimes at nighttime coming home. So if y'all would consider at least like putting it back to the weekend schedule or something, just as long as we still have a bus to get where we need to go. There's no grocery stores. We gotta go all the way out somewhere to get groceries. We gotta go to the doctors. We gotta go to work, everything. So I'm just asking that y'all would consider this at least. Take it back to Sunday schedule or something. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Francis Allman.
Hi, my name is Francis Allman. I reside at 4264 Mullane, Trotwood, Ohio. I also am a driver. Half of these people in here do be on my bus, and they do need transportation. Like Kevin said about riding ship on Sundays. Sunday I picked up in Trotwood 2 people. They rode all the way from Trotwood to Far Hills to go to work. And I pick these people up every day. So I'm just saying, we need that bus. Another thing, our pick we just did, it's ridiculous. We ain't got no drivers because we're working 12 hours a day. Who wants to come in there and work 12 hours every day? And then on your day off, you be
We're mandatory.
mandatory. So you might get 1 day out of the whole 7 days. I'm just saying, y'all need to look into some things, and I hope y'all keep Route 14. Because like I said, half of these people that's in here to ride 14, I drive every morning. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Charlene Dawson.
My name is Charlene Dawson. I live at 6045 North Main Street, Sienna Village, apartment 14. Mr. Rosinski, what we did, I waited in our community room. I tracked people down. I had them to sign petitions. I had them to sign, our building managers to send a letter, and I have copies. What did y'all do? Throw it in file 13? We want the senior Easy Rider back. I don't understand. I sat here and I pleaded with y'all. I begged y'all not to do this. There are seniors in my building that depend on that. We need that. That Easy Rider is more than just a bus to the store for us. That is our connection. When COVID hit, everybody was calling everybody trying to find out if they were okay. Evidently, you don't care what happens to seniors. You don't care at all. You don't. These people are more than just riders. They are my bus family. And we love each other. When somebody is missing, everybody calls, well, where's they at? Where they at? This is more than just a bus for us to the store. This is our outing. If someone has a problem, you could bet somebody else has gone through that. They have the answer. We use that bus for everything, but we use it mostly for friendship. Your drivers, I can't say enough for them. They are the most wonderful people. Why don't y'all get on the buses and ride and see what it's all about? See what those drivers do on the Easy Rider. They are not required to help us, but they do. They go beyond the call of duty. And instead of y'all doing what you're doing, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You need to step down, step out, and get out of the way and let somebody else come in there and do it. Okay? We need that bus back. People ask me in my building every day, when are we going to get our bus back? Here we are coming up on another year, no bus, and people are stranded because of this. And as far as bus 14, I take bus 14. Sometimes I just like to get out and just go. You take that away from me. You are the one that had me stranded at my home. And you ought to be ashamed. You all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. It's going to come back on you. Know that.
Thank you, Ms. Dawson. Our final speaker is Penelope Burnham.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having this meeting here today. But what I understand is that you've already made a decision. My name is Penelope Burnham. I live at 7 Bell Meadows Drive, Trotwood, Ohio, 45426. What you're getting ready to do is strip my independence. I'm 68 years old, and I depend on 14. I take it to the bank, take it to the store, take it wherever I need to go. I have a son that drives for you. Rarely do I ask him to do anything for me that I can do for myself. You taking my independence. It's only a handful of Centerfield people that ride that bus, but 14, it's like 80% of us ride the bus. They told me that because I was not handicapped, I can't get Project Mobility, that I would have to have a doctor say I need Project Mobility. I'm not having nobody say I need anything when I'm capable of doing things for myself. But if you take 14, I lose my independence. Y'all gave me a time limit, but I had wrote down a whole lot of stuff. But because of the time, I can't tell you all the things I want to tell you. I want to tell y'all thank you for having us here, thank you for letting us speak. But that Connect on Demand, both of y'all said yourselves you don't have enough drivers for that. Y'all said it. I didn't say it. Y'all said it out your mouths. I was listening to everything you said. You don't have enough drivers for that. What if I heard 3 people from the Wingate Apartments say that they take that bus? What if all of us call y'all for that time? At the same time. We can't do it. At my bus stop alone, in front of the Wingate, 4 people catch it. If all 4 of us call to connect, all 4 of us are not going to get a ride. And we're not going to be where we need to be on time. I can't go see my grandchildren when I want to. I need to be independent to be able to go when I want to go. I shouldn't have to wait on my son. I shouldn't have to call my daughter. I want to go when I want to go. Please keep 14. Do the Connect on Demand in Centerville.
Thank you, Ms. Burnham. I do want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of you have mentioned that you had some things in writing. Your input into this board is not limited to your comments at our board meetings. Please, I encourage you, put this down in writing and send it to us in the mail, and the board will look at them, okay? But not right now. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to reopen public comment at this point. We've gone through the list. But I would encourage, if you have anything more in writing, please address it to the board, and we'll see it. All right, next on the agenda are the board member comments, and I will start down with Ms. Hairston to my far right, and just let me know if there's anything that you wish to say, and we'll come right down the line.
I'd just like to say 14 has been an issue for us and a major concern for us. So we have looked at it and we are still considering it. That's all I have to say at this time.
Mr. Fullenkamp?
Thank you, Sharon. I totally agree with Sharon, and to this point, I have no further comment.
Okay. Ms. Hurd?
One comment about 14. We did meet with Quincy Polk yesterday, and he took us on a tour so we could see what's coming. And we're working together to come up with a win-win solution, to provide transportation for Trotwood, and recognizing that we're 75 drivers short of what we need. So we're trying to find a win-win solution, and we haven't found it yet. But we hear what you're saying, and Trotwood hears what you're saying, and we're working on finding a solution. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Hurd. Ms. Howard?
Oh, you're jumping over here. Okay, sorry. Only thing I will add is this. Anybody who has specific issues, I'm asking you to stay after and talk to Bob or somebody on his team to figure out how we can address those individual issues. I've been taking lots of notes. The staff knows I blow up their phone. When my phone rings, their phone rings. So there's questions that I have that I'm sure that they will provide me answers with. If anybody in this room believes that canceling a route gives us some kind of pleasure, you are terribly wrong. I grew up in West Dayton on Oak Ridge Drive, a stone throw from Roosevelt. If you think this was an easy decision on any of them, you are sadly mistaken. We are in the business of serving customers, but we need help. I work in healthcare. We just went through a 90-day sprint to hire 900 people in 90 days. That's how many openings we have, and we're not done. We're getting ready to go through another sprint because we don't have enough people to take care of patients in our hospitals without our staff being overworked. I hear every day about people who say, I don't want to come back to work. COVID has taught me I like working from home. I don't want to do that. It is causing us an issue, and we're in the service industry. So I just want everybody to take a step back and to ask yourselves, if you think this is fun for us, it is not. To Adrian's point, we will continue to work. We've heard everything you've said, and we are committed to trying to find solutions.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. Mr. Wexler? Covers it? Okay. Ms. Matthew Stenson?
No further comments.
Okay. My only comment would be to echo what Ms. Hurd said. And you all didn't know what had happened here within just the last couple of days, and that is that to address this very issue, our executive director and our former board president, who is a Trotwood citizen, and hopefully those of you who live in Trotwood know Ms. Hurd, been there 40 years. So we didn't send somebody who lives in Centerville out to talk to the Trotwood city manager. We sent Adrian, who we all have utmost confidence in. So what does that mean? Does that mean there's a solution today? No. It means there's going to be discussions, and communication and conversation and to address your very legitimate concerns. So, again, on behalf of the board, I want to thank you all for taking the time and making the effort to come in and address the board today. All right. Is there a request for executive session?
There is, Dave, for a potential litigation matter.
Okay. Then I move the board retire into executive session to discuss pending or imminent court action with legal counsel.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Will the secretary please call the roll of board members?
Yes, sir. Mr. Williamson.
Yes.
Ms. Howard.
Yes.
Mr. Fullkamp.
Yes.
Ms. Harrison.
Yes.
Ms. Hurd.
Yes.
Ms. Matthews Simpson.
Yes.
Mr. Weatherspoon.
Yes.
We have 7.
We will now retire into executive session, and I will tell the audience that there will be no more business to conduct when we reconvene into regular session. Per the agenda item, the only thing left will be adjournment of the regular session. You're welcome to stay, but again, there will be no more business that will be conducted at that point. That being said,